Hello, good evening. Thank you for taking your time to be here and listen to me. So, today we'll be talking about the 30 million word gap. Now, let me ask you something. When you were in grade school, and really the youngest you can remember in being in school, did you understand your teacher?
Yes.
No? Okay. When she spoke to you, did you understand what she said? Like, did you do exactly what she said, or did you get any idea what she said at all?
I had no idea.
Why?
Because my first language was Spanish, so I had a hard time communicating with teachers.
Mm-hmm. And what about you guys?
Well, my first language was English, and I grew up in an English household, and I was taught to read at a very young age, so I was pretty understanding of most things.
Okay, so by the end of this speech, you'll hopefully be able to be well informed on the 30 million word gap and how that affects children in schools and in their future lives. So, one of the most important skills that can determine a student's success or failure in a classroom is their language capacity. Of course, children attend school to learn new words, but the words they already know are a predictor of how much of what the teacher says will be understood. If a child comes from a low socioeconomic family, or the native language is not the majority language in the classroom, usually English, by age 3, they experience what is known as the word gap, where these children are exposed to 30 million fewer words than their higher income peers before age 3. In 1990s, the Hart and Weasley study of 95, among other studies where the term word gap was coined, has linked poor early literacy to lifelong academic, social, and income disparities. Difficulties with learning starts early in classrooms that lack the resources and knowledge to accommodate students from low-income families, therefore placing these kids in a disadvantaged position. Because most instruction for all the years of school is oral, the child who has the most extensive vocabulary in English will understand more, while the child with the smallest vocabulary comprehends the less. So in Hart and Weasley's study, a team of researchers followed 40 volunteer families from poor, middle class, and higher class for the first 3 years of their lives. Every month, researchers recorded an hour of sound from the families' homes, and then in lab, they listened to those recordings and the total number of words spoken in each household. They discovered that by age 3, children born into lower-income families heard roughly 30 million fewer words than their more affluent peers. So the disadvantages of lower-income families is that this gap increases as they get older, and it causes slower growth for children who are poverty-stricken and accelerated growth for those who are more privileged backgrounds. There's a clear correlation between the conversation styles of parents, say, from immigrant backgrounds, and the resulting speech of their children. So, it's not that the parents mistreat the kids or they can't provide for them at all. It's just that their vocabulary is different, and especially less in English than, other people whose English was their first language. So by determining the magnitude of differences by the age 3, you can determine the amount of intervention needed for equalizing children's learning experience. So the diversity and level of attention from past experiences can affect the future experience of these kids. And educators or people who work in the health profession can build on what their students already know and respond to their interests to introduce and reinforce new words. So in conclusion, the children's vocabulary skills are interdependent on their economic background and consequently their performance in the classrooms. So thank you for listening to this lecture on the phenomenon that is the word gap. My hope is that you will use this knowledge in either your everyday life or in your classroom if you are a teacher. And by understanding how language affects a child's performance, we can find ways to decrease future educational disparities between social